It's competition time, ladies and gentlemen. You can win one of 3 of these brand new HyperX Pulsefire Surge mice. They are beautiful. This is the brand new mouse from HyperX. It is awesome. Now, of course, I am sponsored by HyperX, so this means I can give away all of their lovely stuff. So what we're going to do in this video is, if you like the video, and if you comment below, and if you subscribe to the channel, and if you follow me on Twitter, which is @UnitLostGaming, there is a link to my Twitter in the video description, and also check out HyperX on Twitter as well. You could win one of these. It is a worldwide competition. It's an RGB ridiculously beautiful mouse. If you've actually got the Pulsefire, this is a better mouse. This is a more updated version of the mouse. It just feels way better in the hand. It's much better. Anyway, guys, let's get on with the video. The Hanzo Stealth, but honestly, it's accidental, Scatter Arrow Buff. Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to Unit Lost. I am Stylosa. So Hanzo has had his Scatter Arrow buffed, but this is completely unintentional. Now, you will notice if you are a Hanzo player, well, in fact, if you're not a Hanzo player, you're probably thinking, Sty, why have they buffed this Scatter Arrow when they've been saying for ages this is the reason why they changed Hanzo? In fact, this is the reason why he's got the new rapid shot ability, which hopefully we'll get to see next month or something like that when the Hanzo update comes to live. However, they've gone and buffed Scatter Arrow. So why would they do this? Well, I don't think they've actually done this. I think this is just a mistake. Now, what they've done is reduced the cooldown from 10 seconds to 8 seconds. That means Hanzo can fire his Scatter Arrow faster. This is actually a massive, huge buff. So right now, Hanzo is mega strong, right? Because you can spam the Scatter Arrow like crazy. This is, yeah. But this is a mistake, and the reason why I think this is a mistake is we know the Hanzo update is sort of in the works. We know things have probably been changed, they've been tested, and I also know that Overwatch is an insanely complicated game to patch and update. Now, the way it works is, I actually watched a very interesting how can I say? It's like a talk from GDC, from one of the game designers, one of the system engineers, I believe. Rowan, I think his name was. I think I've totally forgot your name. I apologize. But basically, they explain that the way that they do their iteration, the way that they test various builds of the game, is they're constantly creating versions of the game. So there's like tons of versions of Overwatch, and it gets highly complicated. So sometimes little mistakes can creep through. And I think what's happened here is we are looking at the cooldown timer for Hanzo's rapid shot ability, which is 8 seconds. Yeah. I think that's what's happened. So they've basically imported, right, or copy-pasted, whatever you want to say, the cooldown timer for Hanzo's new ability onto the current Hanzo when they did the big update for the 10th of April for Retribution, which was a massive download, as we all know, because it changed the file structure. So this is not a buff. This is not going to remain, and we know this is going to get removed because the entire ability is going to get removed. But I thought it would be pretty funny to cover. So yeah, Hanzo's got a bit of a stealth buff right now. So if you want to go and abuse Hanzo, then now might be a good time to abuse Scatter Arrow before it goes, ladies and gentlemen. So another hot topic is the idea of a hero dying from the cast, being removed from the game. Now, Jeff was asked this question during the Q&A session that we had with him the other week, and I think in a private interview by Kotaku, because it was on their website, where they basically said, hey, Jeff, would you ever kill a hero from the game? And Jeff basically said, well, if we ever did, although we've got no plans to do this, they would still be playable, but they might just die in the lore. So there's been a lot of crazy leaks. There's people saying like, oh yeah, I work at Blizzard. Yeah, right. And this hero is going to die, and all of these things. And it's like, well, okay. I don't think you can entirely believe those kind of leaks. What I would say, though, because obviously they came out after the comment about heroes dying, if they came out before, then they might have some validity to them, ladies and gentlemen. But I don't think they do. The one thing I will say, though, on this topic is I highly doubt they would ever remove a hero from the game just because of how long it takes to design and build the heroes. The only reason I think they would ever do it is if they were just feeling crazy and are like, well, whatever, let's just do whatever we like with this game because literally we don't care anymore. So I find it hard to believe they would remove members of the cast. However, it's an interesting debate to have. Who would you kill? Like, who would you kill in this game right now? If you could get rid of a hero, who would it be? Let me know in the comments below. I'd say a hero name, but then I'd be in danger of losing thousands of subscribers because I'd say something I might regret. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, moving on. Overwatch League drama. Well. This seems to be the main thing that comes out of Overwatch League. The games are really good. Like, me as a Spitfire fan, Spitfire have been getting destroyed this stage, so it's not been great for me. Although the games they've been involved in have been beautiful. Philadelphia have been playing beautiful. And I do love Philly, because Philly's got some of my Brit homeboys on the team. You got to love it. I do like actually quite a lot of the teams. I think the only team I really have a bit of an issue watching, because I don't think they're too exciting, is San Francisco. But all the other teams generally have pretty interesting games. In fact, the San Francisco against Shanghai Dragons game wasn't too bad last week. Anyway, are you guys watching Overwatch League? Do you even care about Overwatch League? Let me know in the comments below. Anyway, there's a bit of drama. As I said, there's always drama with Overwatch League. This is Dallas Fuel, and them removing their head coach, Kai, who has been with Dallas Fuel, well, has been with Envy for literally 18 months, probably even longer than that, which then became Dallas Fuel and then added extra players to the roster, and then we got the team they've got now. They've not been performing very well, have they? Because they've had a whole host of issues. Now, we don't entirely know what's been going on behind the scenes. Everything I've read about Kai seems to indicate that he's not like a heavy-handed leader. He likes to just sort of ask the players what they want to do, then he tries to make that happen. Like, he doesn't force things on them, he doesn't impose things on them. And the problem with Dallas is they've got a lot of very strong personalities. So I think a lot of different people on Dallas are probably saying things like, well, I want to do this, and somebody wants to do something else, somebody wants to do something else. I think it may have caused issues with Kai, but all of that is complete conjecture. Anyway, there is a statement. I'm not going to read through the statement, but there's a link to it in a video description. However, there is a very unprofessional section to this, and this is regarding Rascal. Rascal is a very good player. In fact, Rascal used to be part of the Spitfire roster, so I've had the pleasure of meeting Rascal and watching him in various scrims and all of that good stuff. He's a good player. I think everybody knows Rascal is a good player, but he's Korean, which means he speaks Korean, ladies and gentlemen, which means when you put him into another roster that is not Korean, there's going to be a problem. And the reason, there's probably you guys out there thinking, well, Sty, why did Spitfire get rid of Rascal if you're saying he's so good? Well, that's just because Spitfire has got loads of players, so it's impossible to play them all. And players like Rascal and like Fisher, who went to LA Gladiators, they are players that want to play. You can't have them on the sub bench. They want to play. They need to be first team, players who start the game all the time. So it was the right thing to do for Spitfire to allow them to go, because yeah, Spitfire want to keep them, but you can't just keep them if the players are unhappy. You have to think about them as people. Anyway, this is what they said about Rascal, and I don't understand this. So they've said Rascal, a Korean DPS player, was acquired in a transfer from the London Spitfire earlier this season, was also released today. Rascal had played with Dallas Fuel throughout Stage 2 and appeared in 2 of the matches for the Fuel in Stage 3. And this is the quote from the owner, from the team owner, effectively, from the NV team owner. We had hoped that Rascal could add flexibility to our DPS lineup on the team this season. Unfortunately, his commitment to the team did not meet our expectations, and his unwillingness to communicate with the team while playing in recent matches became a large distraction. Well, the reason why this is so ridiculously unprofessional is he's Korean and he speaks Korean, and this was known before he was hired. So the reason for removing this player is because he's Korean. What? It's so stupid. What they should have said here is, oh, he didn't work with the team. He didn't fit into the team, and that's it. Unfortunately, he's not a player we need because we're going in a different direction. That's what you say. You don't say, oh, this player can't speak the language, because, that's just outrageous. I can't, we've only had the player for a few months, he can't speak the language. If you put me, hell, I was going to say, if you put me in a room with Koreans, I've been in rooms with Koreans, with loads of them, and I cannot, I literally cannot say anything. I don't know what they're talking about. They teach me swear words. That's basically all they do. And then I walk around. In fact, I was walking around saying something about scratching balls or something, and they're laughing at me. That's what happens, right? I cannot speak the language. I could not discuss strategy with those players. And I'm not with them every day, day in, day out. But even after the few weeks I've spent with those players, I cannot speak the language at all. I can say Naisu, but that's about it. So I think this is an issue which is stupid for Dallas to comment on. So the Dallas Fuel disaster, if we can even call it that, continues. Now, there were videos on the channel where we spoke about Dallas, and they were not great, and we were breaking down what their issues were. Definitely communication. I think a player like Custer, who used to be in their roster, a fantastic in-game leader, but obviously didn't really work with Dallas because of other issues, maybe other clashes with other players, is playing really well on Valiant, and Valiant are clearly using him as the in-game leader, which is what he is. So it's that interesting. Then you see the other video I made, which was, have Dallas fixed their issues, where they seem to be playing a little bit better. But then, yeah, which again is the other issue, right? Dallas were getting better. This was not a team on the decline. I mean, it's hit rock bottom, don't get me wrong, but it's changing. It's got the player OGE that came in. Yeah, it is a booster, and yeah, the Koreans don't particularly like that, but still a decent player. The roster was getting stronger. There was more cohesion in the team. It was becoming a better unit, and then you fire the head coach, and then you fire one of the DPS players. It's very weird. Very, very weird. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been Stylosa, and this is Unit Lost. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments below, and I will catch you lovely lot on the next one. Toodaloo.